Okay, what is going on, everybody? It is Genesis Smith here with the Parent Cast this week. This week, we're actually going to dive in and talk about an episode uh, inspired by SZA's new song, Hate You. Everybody knows that song that's bumping right now, right? There are a lot of things that I despise when it comes to what I hear, right? With pregnancy, with women, with all of the above. And I want to talk about those things. So we're going to get into it. Part of my absence, as we know, the world as we know it is a shit show. And a lot of us are getting our lives together, okay? Let's all remember that we're human. And I am entitled to focus on my health and my family's health first. Because what would I have to bring to y'all if I'm not my best, or at least feeling somewhat of it. So pardon my absence for the past 2 to whatever weeks it was. That's number one. Get that out of the way. Okay. One thing that I despise when it comes to pregnancy, I don't like the force. I've noticed while scrolling through my TikTok, while looking through my Instagram, while being on my social medias, a lot of men feel the need when they talk about submission and ask what women bring to the table. And oftentimes, if you don't want to have a child, you're useless. That really bothers me as a pregnant lady. For multiple reasons. I don't know why, and obviously this is not all men, but men that do think this way, I do not know why you came into this world gracefully from a woman and you feel the need to think with such a blatant disrespect towards a woman that you are looking to settle down with, as far as even dating goes, even if you're not looking to settle down yet. When a woman tells you that what she brings to the table is life, that's it, period. There shouldn't be a if, ands, or buts, and what else. Now let's say, a woman does not want to bring children to that table. That's okay. It's the mere fact that we are able to bring in a life. And the reason why it's so downplayed, and the reason why a lot of toxic men try to hold submission and children over a woman's head is because of the fact that that's kind of all that they flourish in when it comes to being needed. It's the need of providing, but it's not really the woman that needs you to provide. Oftentimes when you are trying to get a woman to submit to you, it's the child that would need you. Oftentimes it isn't the woman. A lot of women carry children on their backs on their own. Oftentimes because that woman did not properly submit to the man in some way, shape, or form, which is really sad to me. But it bothers me. I do not believe that women should be forced. Especially because if you've never been pregnant in your life, doesn't matter if you're a woman, doesn't matter if you're a man, doesn't matter if you're pink, purple, black, white, beige, doesn't matter. If you have never gone through this traumatic experience of pregnancy and formulating a life within your own body, you will always downplay it. You will never understand. You will never be able to physically and mentally comprehend what that means. Ever. Ever. I think it's very easy for people to be like, oh my God, you're pregnant. You can do it all. And if you can't do it all, you are less than super mom or goddess, or whatever people think, which is another thing that I really don't like. How can you hold something to such a low standard that you've never gone through? This is something personally that I believe, and I'll hold my opinion on this. It is very easy to push a seed into that woman, but do you know how hard it is to create that seed within your own body? Even if I was to explain it, it's hard to explain. And I think that because we're women and because we understand how traumatic it could be within the body, which I'll get into in a minute, how traumatic, the words of traumatic and hard and things like that don't have to be negative. Just because I say it's traumatic does not mean it's not a beautiful experience. I'll get into that in a minute, but we can't even put into words how it feels. I can tell you all day and night that it's like having alcohol poisoning, throwing up every single day for weeks. I can tell you it's like Jesus being in the desert 40 days, 40 nights without food and water and surviving, even though he's a human man, right? And when you hear these things, you could be like, oh yeah, okay, whatever, But if you do not physically go through that, you would never understand what that means. And that's the craziest part. For me, pregnancy is more than just bringing a baby into the world. It's the process of creating that human in your own body at the same time of you surviving. Life is easily taken by granted every single day that we wake up, every single day that we go to sleep, close our eyes, do the same thing. It is easily like, you know what? Is what it is. The phrase, it's life. However, it's not just life. Do you know how godly it is? And I say godly in a sense of just euphorism. To create a body, a soul, while you, a body, a soul, are living at the same time. And how much energy that takes and how downplayed it is by society, the government, men, people around you, friends, family. When you get pregnant, you have to own that experience. Own it. When I was going through my horrid morning sickness where I couldn't even hold down fucking water, I had to own that shit. I would not be alive right now if I did not own that shit and understand why my body needed to go through that tremendous detox that it did in order to formulate this human that I can now feel kicking me as we speak. Alive and well. Alive and well. That's my question, and I really want to hear a response from people who think like that. Why do you downplay pregnancy as it's just even if you don't want to have kids, why is it something that you just look at as, oh, well, and now a baby's here? Like, why don't you really sit down and think, what is actually happening in that woman's body? I saw today, very touchy subject, so warning, but I saw today, as I was scrolling on TikTok, that an 11-year-old girl who was an SA victim is being forced to keep her child by law. An 11-year-old girl. That is a child, quite literally, whose body isn't nowhere near development, literally just started. I got my period at 11. So I can only imagine formulating a child while you are a child. And a lot of people don't think about how that right there, not what she's going through, not what she went through, not the horridness of the situation, the horrifyingness, I should say, excuse me, not horrid, but horrifying of the matter was the normal in the Greek Empire, in the Roman Empire, when we look back at the olden times that they project. That was normal. Stuff like that was normal. And I look at myself and I'm like, how us women so powerful, so how did we even do such a thing as being a child and preparing a child in our child body and birthing that child and raising that child as a child? You hear the older generation all the time, especially in the Black community, say, oh, you're a child raising a child if you have a child young, right? Even if you have a child in your early 20s, you're young, they still look at you as a kid. But imagine those kids that are actually kids that have to do that. My heart broke when I heard that story today. How can men be so submissive, and how can a country in a whole, or people in a whole, want to have dominion over women's bodies that much that is something that is looked at as okay? It is not okay. And I don't know if there's petitions out right now or of the sort. I'm going to do my research, but if there is for this little 11-year-old girl, and I believe it was Texas, in the state of Texas, find those petitions and sign them, because truly that is a traumatizing experience. Like, if pregnancy traumatized me, and not in a negative way, which I'm about to get into, if pregnancy was traumatizing in a negative way for you, for all my mothers out there and or anybody that is expecting right now, I express my condolences to you, because as I said previously in my blog, which is on my website, and continuously within the podcast, pregnancy is no joke. Prepartum is no joke. Postpartum starts in pregnancy. And I want you ladies to know that you are valid, you are heard. Anybody that's not pregnant right now, if you are a woman, you are validated, you are heard, your body is important, you are necessary in this world. And don't let anybody tell you otherwise, because you matter. And the world will shit on you and make you feel like you don't matter. But your essence is the most important thing that this world will ever need. Because notice, our governments all around the world right now are begging women in my generation, 21 and older, to have babies. Right? Humanity is dying. That's what they always say. That's what they always bring to the table. Humanity is dying. And they don't ever talk about, you want us to survive off of the basic things that you give us that aren't even good. They aren't healthy. They have been colonized over time. You poison our food, you poison our water, you poison our air systems. You are doing horrendous things. You're not telling the full truth as a government. All governments, all of them, trash. And yet you want us to bring children into this world. Now, if it happens and you decide to keep your child, that is a gift. A life is a gift, and that's how I will always see it. A life is a gift. But if you are not planning a child, or if it does not happen and you're like, okay, well, this is a gift and I'm going to raise this child, the way I saw it before I got pregnant, why the fuck would I want to bring a child into the world like this? Because the truth is, if we don't fight for, our what's ours, land, water, free food. I think about this stuff all the time, right? And I was looking at a comedian talk about this, maybe it was like a month ago. It's a series that's been going around. You've probably heard it, where he's like, zoom out, go on Google Earth and zoom out, right? We are floating in nothingness, and that nothingness is getting bigger. And we're in an infinite nothingness that is filled with all of these galaxies and all of these universes. And yet here we are paying our little speck, like we're literally a speck in the universe, paying tinier specks than this universe who resonate at a certain frequency to live. Paying to live. Like, it mind boggles me till this day. Like, I will create a life where my child will not have to pay to live it. And before I get into how much gatekeeping and setting your children up for a good future where they can fight this demonistic of a system, before I get into how much it pisses me off that that's gatekeeped, I want to go back into how much I hate the terminology. Okay, we as women have to do better. Pregnancy does not... I was watching a video the other day on TikTok, and it was this woman who was speaking on parenthood and saying how her mother explained to her what motherhood would be like, and letting her know it was like giving up all of your fun vacation days and never going out with your husband and blah 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 and and blah blah blah. And though that may be true, why is it such a negative thing? Why are we as women conditioned to look at raising a child and raising a life and teaching that life how to function better than the society that we were raised in? Why is that looked at as a bad thing? I really had to train myself to stop being the own manifester of negativity and dis-ease and unhealthiness within my own family, within my own life. The reason why I look at my pregnancy as such a blessing, the reason why I look at it as gorgeousness, the reason why I speak life into this experience that I am going through right now is because of the fact that I am not allowing the scarcities of what you hear when it comes to pregnancy and labor and then parenthood. I'm not letting it scare me. Most of the times we settle for these harsh interpretations of traumatic or trauma due to the fact of others' experiences. Even though I was puking my left lung out, that does not mean that this experience of being pregnant has been traumatizing for me. It has been traumatizing in a sense of learning a new way of life. But why does trauma have to be associated with negativity? Because for me, it was not. It is not negative. It's not. That's how we're conditioned. We as women, when we become mothers, we're like, oh, our life is over. Oh, it's all about the kids. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. That's it. No life, no nothing. Over. Over, over, over. We have to do better as women. Yes, you can still love yourself and be a mother. Yes, you can still have a life and be a mother. Yes, you can be pregnant and enjoy it, even with the hard times that come along with it, because it is difficult. You can still enjoy it. The whole purpose, or this is my thought of the whole purpose of life, my life, I'll speak internally with this one, it's just to experience. This is an experience that I am going through right now, and I am going to appreciate it for what it is. And I think a lot of the times pregnancy is so hard on us women, because it is hard to accept what we are going through. But if you take it every day and you accept every day at the end of the day for what it is, it becomes easier. I hear women all the time when they get to like their third trimester that they're just ready for the baby to be out. Either they're so anxious to meet the child, or they're just done with the pregnancy, or they're just tired of it. And I'm not dishing that away or saying that's wrong or anything of the matter. You are validated ladies to feel how you want to feel. However, do better with how you condition yourself to feel. I think a lot of people do not realize how much we have our mind over the matter. Because we do. The same way when you become into parenthood and you have to tell yourself on those bad days that you're still good. It's the same way in pregnancy that you got to start training yourself to say, even on those days where you don't feel like doing it anymore, that it's good. It's good to experience what you're experiencing right now. And I have a personal hate for the way that we have been conditioned to hate ourselves as women. It is quite annoying to me because we are goddesses that quite literally don't know why we are not anymore by the mass human race, but should be worshipped at all times, especially when you go through pregnancy, when you are bringing children into this world. Women that bring children into, yes, there is the civil rights movement. Yes, you could work a job. Yes, you could do this. Yes, you could do that. But my thing is, you could do that. And that should have always been an option, but you shouldn't have to. Because being a mom is a 9-to-5 job. And having a 9-to-5 while being a mom is being fucking Superman. Superwoman, okay? That is being Superman all the way. All the way. If you do not want to do that and you want to spend 100% of your quality time with your child, that should be funded. By a man? No. By any means, no. You know, if a man comes into your life, that should be prepared, right? Finance me and support our family. Because I want to spend the time as a mother doing what I need to do as divine feminine energy and nurturing this family as I should. But let's say that's not the case. Governments, step the fuck up, man. Women should be able to nurture these children and build these humans that you want in your society and change the world, and be able to do so with help. Will it ever be that way? We don't know, because governments are just demonic. So will it ever be? No. But maybe we as women need to put on our straps like we always do and create a fund where we are endlessly pouring into each other, where women can pull from when they need it. It shouldn't just be governments allowed to create grants and loans and personal loans so that women who want to do the best for their children and survive have to struggle to get there or struggle to qualify. It should never be that way. In my personal opinion, it should never be that way. So, I don't know if I'm going to be the one to do it. I mean, definitely in the future, of course, when I am able to. I want to create that fund where women, it doesn't matter if you're in need, if you just need a little something, it doesn't matter. If you are a mother, we all need to pour into that fund. It doesn't matter if it's $1, it doesn't matter if it's $2, that's going to build up over time. And that should be a trust fund that we put away, that any woman in the world, doesn't matter where you are, can reach it and be able to support their family with ease. Because that's what's important. That is what's important. Now, there's another thing that I despise. Okay. I don't know what it is. But it's an itch that I'm constantly scratching at. Okay? We as women do this a lot too, right? Why do we feel the need, even with you being a parent? Let's say you're a parent, I'm a parent. Or let's say you're pregnant or I'm pregnant, you've been pregnant, I am pregnant. Why do you feel the need to project what you went through or how you feel onto that woman that is going through what she is going through in that moment? Right? As a woman that is doing everything 100% natural and doesn't believe in checkups and things of that nature, I get annoyed, really, really annoyed when people want to share their opinion on what they feel as though I should be doing with this journey that I'm doing, right? Here's why I get annoyed. Because these are the same people, if you were to check them on their parenting and say, you know what, I think that you are doing this, that, and the third, right? And you need to stop. Or these are the same people that would get offended if they were checked in any other which sort of way. A lot of people project when they are dealing with something or when they feel as though you are somebody that has gone through a similar situation. They project because of the fact that they feel like they can relate to you. And ladies, it's okay to just listen to what the woman is saying and step back. It's okay. It's okay to not share your opinion all the time. And if you do want to share that opinion, it's okay to share that opinion, but I encourage us as women to accept that not everybody's going to do it the way that you did. Not everybody's going to do things the way that you do. Not everybody's going to move the way that you move. Because I know when I step into the world of parenthood, there's a lot of things that I'm not going to do that other mothers do. And that is okay. As long as you are doing right by your family, as long as you are doing right by your child, that's all that matters, right? Especially when it comes to pregnancy, I think about all the women who have had their babies on the way to the hospital, in taxis, in trucks, right in the door. You hear all these countless stories in a storm. They had no help. They relied on their selves and brought that healthy baby into the world. So personally, me no want to hear it. Me no want to hear it. Because me always, I gotta do, me want to do, and that's that on there. Okay? That's just a putting it out there. Okay? And that's really where I wanted to take it today with the podcast. I didn't want to take too long because I have been recovering. I'm still recovering, feeling my best, feeling better. I don't know if you can hear it in the recording. Hopefully not. But I'm really preserving my energy right now. But I wanted to take some time on this Saturday night to be able to speak freely about these things. And I will be back. I don't know if it will be a podcast next week, or probably not, because we are looking, me and my husband are looking into some transitioning, things like that, and continuously getting our life together as we all are right now. And so I'm not sure if I will be he's not with me tonight. He is next to me, but he's not on the podcast tonight. I'm not sure if we will be doing that as far as the podcast goes. However, I will keep you updated on when the Paracast will be. If not, always check out for the blog, because that is updated every Saturday. And if not, please follow my social media. On Instagram, it is thebabyblog _ I believe. And you'll be able to see if I'm doing a podcast or writing a blog that night or what I'm doing. So, but if you enjoyed this, please leave your comments where the comments need to be left. If you have any questions, feel free to send me questions all the time. If you want a Q&A, 1 week, whatever the case may be, let me know, because I do that, and I love doing that. So thank you so much for listening. Peace and blessings, love, and eternal health to everybody right now. Stay safe. Mwah.